Hi everyone, my name is Chris Brown. I'm going to tell you a story about friendship and how a strong friendship of many years can end, just because you and a friend became closer. My life changed abruptly when I moved into Billy's house. My childhood friend Billy and I had our own circle of friends. We're all creative types, but he and I were the closest in the company. Our parents were also friends together. Billy and I built models of houses, buildings, and won architecture contests all over the state. It was time-consuming work and challenging, but we loved creating something together. One day we took on a big project for a children's centre and decided to make a model on a tight deadline, but we didn't have enough materials, cardboard, glue and other things. I asked my parents to stop by the convenience store and told them I would stay at Billy's house for a while. It was raining hard that day. Billy's house got a call from someone he knew on the police force, and he had some terrible news. Can you guess what it was? That's right, my parents were gone. They'd been in a car accident on their way to the market. I won't burden you with my condition. I lost everything. My parents were all I had. Mr. and Mrs. White didn't think long, took me to live with them right away, and they rented out my house, and they put that money in my account. Their taking care of me helped a lot. I felt indebted to them and Billy. At first, everything was fine. Billy and I watched movies before bed late at night, walked everywhere together, and our friendship only seemed stronger. Our mutual friends were even jealous in a way, saying we were both lucky to have each other. One morning, Mrs. White bought a box of shoes with Nike written on them from the store. Man, I was so excited. My last pair of shoes had been long since ripped, but I was embarrassed to ask her to buy me a new pair. I thanked her, and there was anger on Billy's face. "I've been asking you for a month for these sneakers, Mum." "Honey, you still have 4 pairs of new shoes, and Chris doesn't have any. The last ones are torn. Let's not. Especially since he's your new brother." "What are you talking about?" "I wanted to tell you tonight that we almost got your custody papers approved." I was insanely happy. It had been 6 months since my parents were gone, but now I had hope for a new and fulfilling family. But I don't think Billy would have been happy about that news. He took the model of the building and bolted it to his room without a word. He barely spoke to me from that moment on, sat in his room the whole time, and forbade me even to go in there. He did not answer my question and tried to get out of the house. One day, while we were sitting down at dinner, my father came up to us and told us that some mister had called him and said his son, Chris, had scratched his car. I looked at Billy, but he made a surprised face. "Wow, Chris, I told you to drive more carefully." I didn't deny anything, even though I can't drive. I just bowed my head and apologised, telling him it wouldn't happen again. I had already imagined the look on Mr. White's face and how upset he was, but he came up to me, put his hand on my shoulder, and told me to be more careful next time. I was very surprised, and I looked at Billy, and he blushed with anger. I wanted to talk to him after dinner, but he shut himself in his room again. I went back to the layout. Billy hadn't been helping me lately, so I was doing everything myself. I built and glued and cut and drew, and then I realised there wasn't enough glue. So I went to look for glue in the garage where we'd last worked on the model, and I found Billy there. He was smoking on the sly from his parents. "Since when do you smoke?" Billy freaked out, but didn't show it. "None of your business." "Billy, just don't lecture me on what's good and what's not, okay? I have parents for that." "Oh yeah, you don't." "Take it back." "Screw you, Chris." "What's wrong with you? Why are you being like this? What did I ever do to you?" "Are you serious?" "Yeah, let's talk." Mum came into the garage. We both weren't expecting that. "I saw the light in the garage, so I thought I'd look in. What's that smell? What are you smoking?" Mrs. White squinted at us. I wanted to tell the truth, but I knew she'd been worried about Billy lately. "It's mine, Mum. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. You have my word." Mum was really upset. I could see it in the look on her face. When she left, I thought Billy would at least thank me, but he walked out in silence. I went into the room and looked at the chat room where our company used to be. I noticed that I'd been deleted. What the hell? Why? What had I done? I texted Justin in a private message and asked him what was wrong, and he said Billy had done it. He said you didn't want to hang out with us anymore, as you did with him, that you had other friends and you weren't with us anymore. I'm sorry. I was angry. I wanted to punch him in the face so bad. I walked out of the room and saw a horrible picture. His parents were sitting in the kitchen, and Billy's mum was crying. All I could hear was her saying that maybe they'd rushed it and that she wasn't coping, that things were falling apart in their family and she wanted to fix it, but she didn't know how. It made me uncomfortable. Just the thought of going to an orphanage was scary, because I had heard how the kids lived there. It's interesting what happened. I lost my parents and gained new ones, but I lost my friend and other friends. The only person I have left now is Millie, a girl who used to live not far from me. I was so sad that I left the house and went straight to her. All the way, I wondered what to do next. Millie was a smart girl. She would give me some valuable advice. When I got to her house, I saw Billy next to her. He was hugging her and kissing her. I couldn't help myself, so I jumped him and punched him in the face. Millie yelled at me to leave him alone. "You took everything from me, everything I had," I yelled. Billy got up off the ground and said, "Are you sure it was all yours?" "What do you mean? What do you mean?" "You live in my house with my parents on my money, socializing with my friends, and now, friend, it's my turn. I didn't take anything of yours from you. I'm just returning your debt." "You don't dare. She had nothing to do with this." "Is it? Weren't you in love with her?" "I just took it a step faster, and it was reciprocated." "What are you talking about, Billy? You said you loved me. What about your presents, your model? You said you'd give it to me because you loved me." "The model? My model? I made it myself. It's mine. It's my work." I snatched it from Millie's hands and stomped on the ground. I was so angry I couldn't stop. My friend had been so horrible to me, and I was just ready to explode. Millie sent us both away. Billy went home and I walked. When I got back, my parents were sitting in the living room. "What's wrong with you, Chris? Is this how you repay us? You scratched the car. You smoke when you know I can't stand it. Smoke somewhere else, but not in my house. Did you also manage to beat up Billy? For what? Because he wanted to finish your model?" "Me? What? That's not true. None of it's true." "That's enough. I can't take it anymore. I'm sorry, Chris. We've made our decision. Tomorrow they're coming to pick you up." "Who? Where are you taking me? The orphanage?" All three of them left, and I couldn't believe I was still going to that awful place. I couldn't accept what was happening, so I ran away from home that night. The first thing I did was take all the money out of my bank account. I decided I was going to stay in a motel for a while, and then I was going to move to another town. I was going to put the house up for sale. I missed my parents so much. On my way to the motel the next day, I saw Billy's car. It was oddly parked, crooked, which didn't look like him. I also found small traces of blood on the spot and followed it. Noticed a crowd of guys behind the garages. They were beating him up and demanding money. Billy said he'd get it and give it all back. "Give me our $2,000 or you're dead," they yelled. I came around the corner and said, Here's $4,000, take it all and get out of here." I threw my bag on the ground. The bad guys immediately asked who I was and why I was there. Billy tried to chase me away. "I'm his brother. I came to pay back his debt. Take the money and get out." "You don't tell me what to do. Hey, Bruce, count the money." That was right. That leader let Billy go and told him they'd be back for his debt and that they'd be counting us both out now. Billy coughed and asked why I did it. "You're my brother. I couldn't have it any other way." "I got your folks mad at you." "So be it. At least they're alive and well. I'm glad of that already. Goodbye." He grabbed my hand and stood up, then hugged me tightly. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm the reason for everything." "Yeah, you're an idiot, but it's my fault too. I should have talked to you normally." "I made Mum and Dad jealous of you. I'm a bullshit son. You're so much better than me, and I saw that and it annoyed me. I'm sorry." "All right, man, whatever." Billy brought me home and told my parents everything. Then he apologized to them and promised to make it up to them. We started reassembling our model. As for those guys, we told a cop we knew, so they're looking for them now. Billy got himself into some trouble, but he got out just in time. So everything's gonna be all right now.